ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Mayfield on first down. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
To throw again on second down, Mayfield. That is caught by the former Gator Antonio Callaway. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. Throwing, Mayfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 25 yards that time.
It's a gain of 25 yards. And the Browns first down.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And finding the tight end Hooper. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another first down.
And in his second year in Cleveland after 4 in Atlanta, Austin Hooper always does all he can to build some rapport with his quarterback. He did it with Baker Mayfield last year. Expects it to continue to rise here in 2021.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Going to the air again with Mayfield. It's caught by OBJ. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. And it's caught. Touchdown, Browns. Odell Beckham, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Well, these guys scored touchdown after touchdown in that win a week ago. So how do they come out this week? Same way. They've got that momentum going, a touchdown on the opening drive.
I think it's safe to say that they're in a groove, isn't it? I mean, a lot of times we've seen where teams have scored a ton of points the week before. The very next week struggle to score almost as if they used it all up. Not in this case. This group appears locked in.
And we're going to have to make some adjustments if you're on the other side of that football. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score. 2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On play action, Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. And now the Browns are going to take another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Throwing, Cousins. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. This defense for the Browns, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game. And I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one. But 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
A first down throw for Mayfield. Being chased out left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. Mayfield. Touchdown! That's caught. Austin Hooper, his second touchdown on the season. And the Browns lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ballgame.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On second down, Cook. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
And that's why Dalvin Cook is the Minnesota Vikings featured back. He put the ball in his hands. Good things happen. Second in the NFL last year in rushing with 1,557 yards. And that's now back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with 30 combined total touchdowns. What a player is Dalvin Cook.
Now here's a throw that's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
First and 10 at the 16-yard line.
On the carry, it's Cook. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field. I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
Now on second and 13, Cousins. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big third down coming up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Like 22, he's coming.
They go play action. Cousins. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
I like what they tried to do there. Tried to hit him with something quick, get the ball in his hands, and hope he could make some yards after the catch and pick up a first down. Weren't able to do so on that play.
The kick by Joseph is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
19-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
First down, Mayfield. That is caught by Callaway. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. Mayfield to throw it. It's caught. Beckham.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And he'll take a shot here for Hooper downfield. And incomplete on the deep ball.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Mayfield now. Airing it out deep for Smith. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 27. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield. He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far.
Touchdown, Vikings! With a word with Dalvin Cook, his explosiveness. I'm not sure there's anybody in the league that has the acceleration that he does, and he put it to good effect there.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates, they're looking at you. And let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to it. That's not how football works, but he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 32 on the play.
We spent a lot of time talking about what's going on the field. How about off the field with the evaluation? And they spent a lot of time saying, we've got to get a rookie in here who has big playability. And that's exactly what we're seeing here early in his career.
Drafted him in the spring. Here he is early in the fall making an impact. So that'll back him up 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Here's Mayfield. Swings this out for Hunt. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Antonio Callaway, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Denzel Ward. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown.
We constantly talk about defenders having great vision and being able to see plays unfold and make their own plays, but you also have to have good feel as well because you can't see everything out there. See the play unfold, feel what's going on, and then get into the right spot and make your own play. And in this case, it turned out to be a highlight one.
And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. They start the drive with Cook. 89 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
Max 22, Max 22. Let's go, baby. We need turnover. Let's get that ball. Let's get that ball. Mike 22, he's coming. 22's coming. Mike. Good route there.
On second down and 4. Cousins swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he's got some space here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be second and 8.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house. So they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
Eight yards to go on second down.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Mike 22.
Throwing is Cousins. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds.
Well, they'll use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. To throw is Cousins. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Hey, watch it. He's checking. Crash. Black. Gun. I'm on. Mike 22.
Here's Cousins. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Denzel Ward. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Michael Pierce in all of his 340-pound glory gets the sack. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Final adjustments being made in the locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half from Minneapolis. And for the call, let's rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. Now, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there.
26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely...
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Second and 21, a lot of ground to cover. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
But we saw that he had a lot of success last week throwing the football, but that hasn't translated to this week. But with his team behind, I don't expect him to back off. I expect him to keep firing.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Check, 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 check.
To throw, Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing, they're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yet... And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. In the NFL in 2020, only Derrick Henry had more yards after contact than Dalvin Cook, and runs like we just saw, that's why.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see. A lot of times on these long touchdowns, you'll say he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered, and he just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. From his end zone, it's Demetric Felton. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. The Browns drive about to get started. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, That's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
First down, Browns.
From the gun, Mayfield. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Now then after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23.
Second down.
Another try after the first down sack. Mayfield flushed out right. And Mayfield again with the interception, his third. Picked off near the 42. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. He got out of the pocket there, was wondering what he was going to do with it, but I think he was calling, his receiver was calling for the ball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. The problem, he called for it too late, and when he delivered, they were all over him in the secondary and came up with the interception.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Breaks the tackle, he's got room to run. 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his third touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. Mike Zimmer's made the decision. His guys will go for 2. Cousins will try and throw. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet and said, go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Eluding the pressure right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mayfield. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's his safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. I'm guessing you wouldn't have minded being a fly on the wall at halftime because they were struggling in that first half. Down double digits. Now they're right back in this thing. So whatever was said apparently worked.
And let's make sure, if we're going to be a fly on the wall, that we're high up on the wall because I know I always talk about it being clinical at the half, you know, less emotion, more execution. But every now and then, this is an emotional game.
Sure. Someone's
got to come in and stir some things up. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a few benches got overturned and the halftime water ended up hitting the floor.
Well, whatever happened, it's working right now. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Cousins now. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
It's now 3rd down.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's Jordan Berry now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Now Landry. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
7 yards, the pickup there. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. The Browns on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Mayfield looks to throw. He finds his target, Beckham. Room to run past midfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. yards. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And again, it's Mayfield. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down. Charles, you said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. Now Mayfield. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So not only do they convert on 4th, but they pick up 22 yards in the process. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Mayfield. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And now offensively, it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now, the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. On 3rd down, Mayfield. He's going to air one out. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And Xavier Woods with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So, my goodness, I would have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field, where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
On 1st down, it's Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Play fake. Cousins. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. 4th quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a critical third down now, needing a score here in the late going. Cousins. That's complete. It's Cook. Gets around him. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down.
They got the completion. Now, they probably had 2 plays called in the huddle, so they've got to get to the line of scrimmage, get set, and run their fourth down play.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. Desperation time. Cousins on fourth down. They find some open field here. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well, and they end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Here's Cousins. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Cook. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On second down, it's Cook. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Man, 216 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. He'll dump this off to Cook. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. Now Cousins. And complete right side to Cook. And he's into the end zone. No flags. It's a touchdown. And now a two-point conversion. And we'll be tied here in the final minute.
They have one big call left. Here we go. The touchdown's massive, but now they've got to have two to possibly take this to overtime.
Cousins. Dancing to his left. And that'll be incomplete. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down one. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And this will be recovered by the Browns hands team, and that should just about write a finish to this one. Past midfield, look out. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Mayfield to throw. It's caught by OBJ. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. Here's Mayfield. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
I'm looking at this one with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
Now Mayfield. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Sheldon Richardson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. And you talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Browns, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And another road date awaits them next week as their opponents will be the Los Angeles Chargers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll get a home date next week against the Detroit Lions.